right, hi everyone, welcome. This is 60-minute morning yoga flow. So half a class. Nice to practice it in the morning, but can be done at any time during the day just for a nice stretch. Let's get started in child's pose. So coming first onto all fours, taking the knees about as wide as the mat, big toes to touch, and then sink the hips back as far as you can towards the heels, and then gently walk the hands out as you rest your forehead on the mat. If it feels really intense in the shoulders, you can bend at the elbows slightly or even bend them enough to rest your head on your hands. As you arrive in child's pose, keep sending the hips back towards the heels. Closing the eyes or keeping a soft gaze, start to notice the breath. Feel where the body comes into contact with the ground. And notice how the belly expands towards the mat on every inhale and contracts up towards the spine with every exhale. Long through the spine. Keep drawing the hips back in space towards the heels. Notice as the time passes if your hips can draw any closer to your heels. Maybe your breath deepens. Have the intention for this practice to be listening to the cues of your own body. So taking what feels good out of this yoga practice and letting go of anything that doesn't. And as you feel ready, begin to look towards your hands. Walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. Keeping the left hip towards the heel, gently release the forehead down towards the mat, opening up through the left rib cage. Left hand rests on top of the right. Gently look towards the hands to walk them through center over to the left space. Right hand lands on top of the left. As you gently release the forehead down towards the mat, right hip keeps drawing back towards the right heel. So a nice stretch through the right rib cage without compromising the connectedness of your long spine and your hips drawing down towards your heels. Gently look towards the hands to walk the hands through center. Gently shift the hips up over the heels. Draw the knees under the hips. Wrists under the shoulders, arriving in all fours. Inhale, begin to draw the hips up towards the sky, open through the chest for cat pose. Cow pose, rather. Exhale, gently draw the hips under and gently release the head to cat. Inhale, pelvis, vertebra by vertebra, open through the chest. Exhale, draw the pelvis under, vertebra by vertebra, draw the head down between them. Moving at your own pace of breath here. Opening up through the hips. And then drawing the head between the arms. Pausing anywhere that feels good in the body for an extra breath. Maybe deepening the movements. So arching the back a little bit more. Last cycle. And then gently draw the knees together and then a little bit back in space just to create a little bit more space between your wrists and your knees. Really root down into your fingertips so that the weight isn't getting dumped into your wrist. And then just begin to make big hip circles. So over to the right, to the front, to the left, and to the back. Just nice big hip circles getting into the outer hips. Using a little bit of strength through the low belly just to keep the low back stable. And then we'll begin to take it in the opposite direction from how you've been going. So just switching the direction of the hips. Good, and then coming back to center, walking the knees in so that they come under the hips. We're gonna inhale, reach the right arm up towards the sky, really open through the chest. Just pause for a moment as you draw the right shoulder blade down. And then thread the needle, keeping the hips high. We're gonna bring that right arm underneath, resting the top of the arm on the mat, and then resting the head, the side of the head or the forehead, whichever is more comfortable, on the mat. Option here to stretch through that front arm, so lengthening through the left arm. Also an option to wrap that left arm behind your back, opening through the chest a little bit. Gently release the left hand back in front of the face. Inhale to reach the right arm high. And exhale, gently release down to the center. Just take a moment to find your center again. Neutral spine. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, reaching the left arm high. Pause here. Open through the chest. Open through the left side body. Draw the left arm any amount more back in space. And then gently thread the needle on this side. Left arm comes through. Left temple rests down. Hips stay high here. Couple options. One is to reach the right arm out in front, like we do in child's pose sometimes with the arm. Or option to wrap the right arm around, finding the left hip crease, possibly opening up. Or option to stay with the right fingertips, just resting as a balance in front of your face. Deep stretch through the shoulders. Noticing the breath. Gently begin to root down into that right hand as you inhale, press up and open the left arm once more, and then gently release that hand down to the mat, spread wide through the fingers. Begin to tuck the toes under. Finding toe stand, we're gonna sink the hips back towards the heels. This might be enough of a stretch through the plantar sole of the foot. Or you may want to walk the hands back, which increases the weight that is put on the heels, so opening up even further. And if it ever gets too intense, always allowing yourself to come out a little bit or come out completely if it's really uncomfortable. Connecting with the breath here. So noticing the sensations of the breath as it draws in and draws out. Allowing the breath to anchor the mind. So staying present in the body rather than present in the thoughts. And then gently begin to walk the hands out to the front, untuck the toes, maybe kind of draw them the other way, rolling out the ankles a little bit, opening up. And then keeping the toes as they are, so the tops of the feet completely on the mat. Gently sink the hips back, walk back to sit on the heels, and then gently lean back and lift the knees slightly up off of the floor. And then gently come back to all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the right leg, rolling out the ankle. Begin to bend the right knee and then make big circles with the knee, opening up through the right hip. So big circles, opening as wide as you can, out, back, and in. Inhale to extend the right leg long. Exhale, stepping it through center. Right foot lands between the hands. Taking as many steps as you need to get there. Tuck the left toes under to float the back knee. Inhale, rise up to crescent lunge. Exhale, gently release the hands down to the mat. Bring the back knee down and then stretch the right knee out, allowing the hips to draw back. And then the heel can move out a little bit forward towards the front of your mat as the toes lift up off the mat, coming into half splits. There can be a softness through the back of the knee, and keep thinking about drawing your shoulder blades together at the back, opening up through the chest. Allowing the breath to flow easily in and out. Gently walk the hands forward, keeping the back knee on the mat this time. Inhale, lifting the arms and lifting the heart. Opening up through the left hip flexor, noticing the breath. Bring the right hand to the right knee, the left hand down to the floor, and then press the right hand into the right knee as you gently twist and open. Guide the shoulders down and away from the ears. Opening up through the chest and the collarbones, gentle twist. Gently unwind and send the hips back once more, finding half splits again. See if you can walk the hands so that they come right under the shoulders and your shoulder blades draw together, opening through the chest and the collarbones. Deep breath in and out. And then gently walk the hands forward, release the foot down to the mat. Knee comes back over the ankle once more. Inhale, we lift up. Soften through the shoulders, soften through the gaze. Keep thinking about drawing the left hip forward and the right hip back, squaring off through the hips. Gently release the hands down. Left hand stays on the mat. Right hand comes to the top of the right knee, and we gently twist open once more. Opening up through the spine, gently twisting. And then gently release. We're gonna bring the right hand on the inside of the right foot, walk the right foot out to the side, and then gently step the right foot, right knee back to come to all fours, tabletop. Just for a moment, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips. Find downward facing dog, bend into one knee and bend into the other. Notice if there's any difference through the legs, through the openness in the back of the legs. And then gently release the knees down to the mat, untuck the toes. Let's just take 3 cat-cows, inhaling, open. Exhale, drawing it in. Inhaling to open. Exhale to draw it in and up. Last one, inhaling to open. Exhale to draw it in and up. And then from a neutral spine, begin to flex the left foot. We're going to draw the left knee out, back, forward, and out. So making big kind of circles, moving with intention and breath. And you can make the movement a little bit more fluid just as long as you're hitting kind of all of those spots, making the circle as big. Connecting with the breath. And then inhale to reach the left leg up and back. Exhale, draw the knee in and plant the left foot in front. Tucking the toes under, lift the back knee. Inhale up to crescent. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Back knee draws down. Untuck the toes. Begin to shift the hips towards the back space. Slide the left heel out and lift the left foot up off the mat. And then walk the hands back so that they come underneath the shoulders. Opening up through the back of the left leg this time. Soften through the shoulders. Keep tracking the left hip towards the back space, the right hip towards the front space. Steady through the breath. Gently walk the hands forward. The foot comes back so that the knee is always over the ankle. Inhale, lift the arms and heart up, opening through the right hip flexor. Soften through the shoulders. Releasing the hands down. Right hand stays on the floor, left hand comes to the top of the left knee, and you gently press as you open and twist towards that left knee. Long through the spine. Crown of the head lifts forward. Tailbone draws back. Gently release that left hand down. Begin to walk the hands back. Foot lifts, front foot lifts off the mat, sliding the heel any amount forward, lengthening, coming into half splits again, opening up through the back of the left leg. Soften through the shoulders, softening through the jaw and the muscles of the face. Easy through the breath. Gently walk the hands forward, foot plants, and gently draws back in space so that the right knee or left knee stays over the left ankle. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, left hand to left knee, right hand to the mat. Begin to root the left hand into the left knee as you twist and open towards the left. And then gently release the left hand down on the inside to walk the left foot out. And then stepping it back to join the right. Tucking the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips to find downward facing dog. Bending into one knee and into the other, noticing what you notice through the body. Connecting with the breath. Inhale, look towards the hands to step or walk the feet to the front of the mat. Gently fold over the legs for a standing forward fold. Release the head, release the neck, and then we'll find ragdoll arms, hands to elbows, releasing the head into the square of the arms. Allowing the crown of the head to draw towards the floor. So really long through the back of the neck, chin stays tucked towards the chest. Gently release the hands down towards the floor, bend into the knees, slowly roll up vertebra by vertebra, taking it nice and slow as you gently roll all the way up to stand. Shoulders roll down and away from the ears, interlace the fingers behind the back, open through the chest here. Inhale, reach the hands away from the low back. Exhale, gently release. Two more like that. Inhaling to lift. Exhale to release. Last one. Inhaling to lift. Exhale to release. Releasing the hands to the front space with a gentle roll out of the wrists. Inhale, circle the arms up and around. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips as you gently fold all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift, heart looks forward. Exhale, hands to the mat. Stepping the left foot back, the right foot back. Find your high plank. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the knees down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Walk the left hand slightly forward so that the wrist stays under the shoulder. We're going to kickstand the left lower leg out as we open up through the right side body. As we extend the right leg long, open up the right arm. Option to stay here or begin to draw the right hand towards the front of the mat, opening up further through the right side body. Gently release the right hand down to the mat. Right knee comes down to the mat, coming into all fours. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Bringing the big toes to touch, inhale the right leg high. Exhale, open it up, opening the hips so that the heel draws towards the left space, knee draws up in space. And then drawing it through center, planting the right foot to the front space. Take as many steps as you need. Inhale, draw the shoulders up over the hips. Sinking the hips a little bit lower. Exhale, gently draw the hands down to the mat. Lengthen through that front knee and release the head down towards the leg. Inhale, bend into that knee. Open through the chest. Exhale, track the hips back as you lengthen through the front leg and release the head down towards the knee. Inhale, opening up through the chest. Exhale, shifting the hips back as you release the head down towards the knee. Inhaling to open. Exhale, shifting the hips back, lengthening through the front leg. Last one, inhaling to open. Exhale, drawing it back. Bending into that front knee. This time, left hand stays on the mat. Inhale to open the right arm up towards the sky. Keep hugging the right knee in towards the chest. Gently release the right hand on the inside of the right foot. Heel toe the right foot out. Find your wrists under your shoulders. Option here to release the back knee down to the mat for more stability, or step the right foot back to meet the left. Lift the hips up and back. Find downward facing dog. Bend into one knee. Bend into the other knee. As you arrive in downward facing dog, inhale, look forward towards the hands, step or walk the feet to the front of the mat. Fold over the legs, release the head, the neck, the shoulders. Bending into the knees, gently roll up vertebra by vertebra. Allow the chin to stay tucked towards the chest. And then arrive all the way to the top. Interlace the fingers behind the back, opening through the chest and the shoulders. Inhale, reach the arms away from the back. Exhale to relax towards the back. 2 more like that. Inhale to reach. Exhale to release. Last one, inhaling to lift. Exhale to release down and then rolling the wrists out towards the front space. Inhale, lifting the arms up towards the sky and around. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, begin to fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat for balance, stepping the right foot back, the left foot stays forward. Find your balance first before you inhale and lift up to crescent. Sinking the hips a little bit lower here. Gently release the hands down to the mat. And then begin to inhale, open the chest. So kind of like a halfway lift, flat back, open through the chest. Exhale to draw the hips back to the back a little bit as you lengthen the front leg. Inhale, open through the chest. Sink the hips down, bend into the front knee. Exhale, draw the hips back as you lengthen. Inhale to lift open. Exhale to draw the chin towards the chest as you lengthen. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to drop back. Two more like that. Inhaling to come forward. Exhaling to draw the hips back. Inhale forward. Exhale completely back. Inhale, come forward. Right hand stays on the mat. Inhale to lift the left arm, twisting and opening. And then gently release the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Heel toe the left foot out to the outer part of the mat. Make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists for balance, and then step that left leg back, coming into downward facing dog. Gently release the knees down to the mat. We're going to kickstand the right leg out and then lengthen the left leg long, coming into that modified side plank here. Lengthening this time through the left side body. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Maybe drawing the left arm towards the front space, lengthening even further through the left side body. And then gently begin to release everything back down to the mat. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step or walk to the front of the mat. Exhale, fold deeply as you release the head and the neck. Heel toe the feet out towards the outer edges of the mat. Release the head towards the ground. Hands can come to elbows. To ragdoll pose, there can be a softness through the backs of the knees, opening up through the back body. Gently release the hands down to the mat. Heel toe the feet back underneath the hips. Bend into the knees and slowly roll up. Coming to stand, roll the shoulders down and away from the ears, open up through the chest. We're gonna come into tree pose. So starting in mountain, root down through both feet, open up through the arms and the chest, and feel all four corners of both feet. Gripping the toes into the mat to pronounce the arches of the feet. Draw the shoulder blades together, opening up through the chest. Connect with the breath. And bring the hands to heart center. Begin to shift the weight over into the right foot as you draw the left foot off of the mat. So knee comes in line with the ankle first. Flexing into the foot. And then you find your tree. The sole of the foot can come either as a kickstand. So ankle just kind of rests on, or heel rests on the ankle. It can come as a foot on the calf variation. And the idea is to keep opening this knee out and back. And then the most kind of challenging variation would be to bring the foot right up into the inner thigh of the standing leg, but maintaining that openness through the inner thighs. The left knee keeps drawing towards the back space. Steady through the gaze and through the breath. Softening through the shoulders and the jaw, noticing where you're holding on to any tension and allowing it to release. And then we'll come out slow and controlled. Begin to release the foot wherever it is on the standing leg back to just in front. And then slowly release it down to the mat. So balance poses can be really different day to day. It's not really something, I mean, to an extent you get better with practice the more you do it. But a lot of it has to do with how busy the mind is, how easy it is for you to pay attention to your breath. So just kind of going with what you find in the balance poses rather than trying to control it so much. Sometimes just going with it and observing is the best way. So taking that tree pose to the other side, we'll just reset with a big deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, draw the hands to heart center. So start rooting down through that left foot this time. Find your balance and then begin to lift the right knee up in line with the right hip. Flexing into the floating foot always helps. Also an engagement through the low belly and the muscles of the pelvic floor. Notice the breath, and then keeping in mind that each side can be different, find the sole of the foot on the standing leg. It can be a kickstand, it can be on the calf, it can be up on the inner thigh. Just as long as it's not pressing into the knee, it's all good. Steady through the breath, steady through the gaze. So finding something where your eyes can kind of get comfortable, it's not moving. Just to maintain focus, keep opening up through the left knee, drawing the left knee back in space. And then gently begin to release the side, drawing the knee forward and up, slow and controlled. And then release that foot down to the mat, shaking out that side. Coming back to the top of your mat, inhale, lift the arms up and around. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, folding all the way forward. Release the head and the neck. Inhale, halfway lift, heart looks forward, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step the right foot back, step the left foot back, and then release the knees down to the mat, untuck the toes. Inhale to cat, cow pose, exhale to cat. Come through a neutral spine, bring the knees nice and wide, send the hips back, release down into child's pose. Forehead comes to the mat, hips drop back in space, long through the spine, back to where we first started. Gently draw the hips back forward, knees come together. We're gonna bring the hips down to come to a seat. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders over hips, coming into a passive forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, and then gently fold all the way forward, releasing the head and the neck, the upper back and the middle back, the lower back and the hips, the hamstrings and the calves. Softening through the shoulders and the knees. Allow the head to draw towards the legs. Vertebra by vertebra, draw the shoulders back over the hips, feet plant, hips draw forward, and then gently lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. Feet stay planted on the mat. Right foot roots down as the left ankle comes just above the right knee onto the right thigh, opening up through the left hip. Keep drawing the left knee forward in space, opening up through the left hip. If you want to take this stretch a little bit further, you can begin to draw the legs in towards the chest. Left hand comes between the legs, right hand on the outside, and they can meet, interlacing behind the right hamstring and kind of gauging, drawing the legs closer to the body for more intensity, away from the body for less intensity. Gently release the right foot back down to the mat. Keep the legs as they are, and then draw the whole unit of your legs over towards the right. Open the left arm so that it comes like a T. Right hand can even Reach down to the right ankle to kind of keep the right hand to left ankle to kind of keep the left foot rooting down. So kind of finding a gentle twist through the spine as well as that left hip opener. Gaze can be up towards the sky or over to the left hand. Gently and slowly begin to draw the knees and legs back up through center. You can release that left ankle, maybe giving it a bit of a rollout on the way down. Left foot plants on the mat. Find an evenness through your hips before we take this to the other side. So maybe a gentle rock from side to side, just finding your lumbar spine and your hips, your pelvis totally kind of even on the mat. And then start by bringing the right ankle to the left thigh. Keep thinking about drawing the right knee towards the front space, really opening up through that space. Flexing into the right foot helps to keep the stretch in the hip and out of the knee. And then option here to draw the legs in. Right hand comes between the legs. Left hand on the outside. They meet at the back of the left hamstring. Drawing the legs in any amount that feels good in the body. Breathing deeply into the right hip. And then gently release that left foot back down to the mat. Keep the legs as they are. Right arm reaches out to the side. And then begin to move into a twist, releasing the legs down to the left. Left hand can grab a hold of the right ankle just to keep that right foot rooted down into the earth. Gaze can be up towards the sky or over to the right. Gently begin to draw the legs back through center, releasing the right ankle, rolling it out, and then planting both feet on the floor. Drop both knees into the chest and rock side to side, massaging out the lumbar spine. Gently moving from side to side. And then releasing the feet down to the mat. Release one leg long, release the other leg long. Opening through the legs, release the arms and the hands by your side. Opening up through the chest. Walking the shoulder blades a little bit more close together under the back to lift the heart up towards the sky. Arriving in Shavasana, feel the whole back body resting on the mat. Notice the whole front body opening up towards the sky. Feeling and noticing the bottom half of the body from hips to heels. And the top half of the body from hips to crown of head. Notice the right half of the body and the left half of the body, and notice where the two halves of the body meet in the middle from root center, low belly, mid belly or solar plexus, heart center, throat center, third eye center, and crown of head. Allow the whole body to rest in stillness for Shavasana. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Moving the fingers and the toes, begin to invite movement back into the body, stretching in whatever way feels good in the body. Planting the feet on the mat, begin to draw the knees into the chest, rocking from side to side, allowing the hands to wrap around the shins. And gently planting the feet, rolling on to the right side. Use the right arm as a pillow. And then gently and slowly begin to draw yourself up to a seat, coming to cross-legged or any comfortable seat where you can maintain a nice tall spine, drawing the shoulder blades together, opening up through the chest. Bringing the hands to heart center, closing the practice with a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale completely. May any goodness from this yoga practice resonate out to all beings everywhere. Namaste.